continue with our class, Others, People's Money, and today this session and all of them should be dedicated to Refuah Shlema, our dear Rabbi Lerner. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariel Ora Basana, Yemim Rasi Rachel Bas Brian, David Shlomo Ben Sandra. Also a quick release of Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, and Atzlacha Rabba of Giveres Hannah Bas Abraham and the whole family. Beezrat Hashem. All right. Okay. So today we continue with our book Others, People's Money, and we're still in the first chapter. The book contains only a few chapters. It's very long, and our big topic, just quickly. Our big topic is related, it's section E, related halachos of stealing. And quickly just to review what we're going to learn. Purchase stolen merchandise, provide equipment or service to help someone to steal, pressuring someone to sell, lo sachmot, stealing but paying for it, Chomos. Short weight or measures, that's we covered last time. Cutting ahead of line, right? We did not get to it. Gazlon May Not be a witness. Using employer's equipment for personal needs. Acts that Chazal called Gezel. Okay. So actually, we start with this Kamos. So it's subsection 4. Stealing by paying for it. Taking an item and paying for it, but doing it against the owner's will, is a form of stealing called Kamos. Okay. For example, a shopkeeper aggressively bargains. Shopper aggressively bargains with a shopkeeper who maintains that he was not willing to sell at the customer's offer. Okay. The shopper took the merchandise and left his money on the counter. Since the shopkeeper insisted that he did not agree to sell at that price, the aggressive shopper is guilty of Chomos. However, if the owner demonstrated that he agreed with the sale, for example, he handed the item to the buyer or took the buyer's money and gave him change, there is no prohibition of Chomos. Okay, so that's all number 4. So let's try to understand. So the situation is, it's clearly that he's stealing. So meaning they bargain about the price, right? And the buyer takes something against the owner's will, right, and gives him money, but he does not give it's clearly stealing. He does not give him the full amount, but amount that he thinks is fair price. Right. That's I'm not sure how is it possible. How brazen a person has to be. Look, you come to buy. They give you price. You want to buy it. Don't buy it. Don't want to buy it. It's too expensive. Go buy cheaper. Go buy 7 times cheaper. Like who is stopping you? You understand? So, but take against his will, right, and leave the money. That's for sure. It's stealing. Right, so money they left on the counter. Since the shopkeeper insisted that he did not agree to sell the price at that price, the aggressive shopper is guilty of stealing of Chomos. Right. However, the owner demonstrated they agreed to sell. So meaning he was pushed, but maybe in my mind, right. So he was planning to make 30%. Right, and now this guy offered him only 15 or something, right? Only for 15% sale. Oh, 15% of what was the word? Profit. Sorry, I apologize. 15% profit. Okay, so he did not want to sell, but after the fact, he did not want to lose the customer. He did not want to create the whole ordeal when the whole line, other people see it like, okay, he just let it go, right? So meaning that after the fact, he gave him a change or something, he handed the item to him, right? So meaning that he agreed, so it's not Chomos. But he was under the pressure. Okay, he took the buyer's money, gave him change. There is no prohibition of Kamos. All right. So continue. So number 5, short weights or measures. Somehow I thought that we covered it. Oh, short weights. One who cheats the buyer, his buyers, by given short weights or measures, transgresses 2 Torah prohibition: the prohibition not to steal, and serious prohibition not to do injustice with weights and measures. This Torah prohibition apply to akum as well. It also applies to the stealing very small percentage of the weight or measures. Right. For example, a ketchup manufacturer had his high technology computerized weighing and dispensing equipment adjusted to steal precisely the same amount from each bottle. The small amount that he kept, multiplied over 1,000 bottles per day, resulted in a nice enhancement of his profits. Very interesting. However, he was guilty of transgressing 2 Torah commandments 1,000 times a day. Wow. Okay. So let's try to understand this part. Okay. So again, the short weights or measures. So it's actually right. It's in parasha. What parasha was Re'eh? Mishpat. Mishpatim. I think it's Mishpatim. Right. So there is a prohibition not to have weights and weights. Right. The bigger one and smaller one. Okay. So again, one who cheats his buyer by giving him short weights or measure transgresses 2 Torah prohibitions. Okay. So meaning one is that we're not allowed to have a weight, wrong weights at all, right? And the second one that he cheats him in sales. So commentary. There is also abrogation of the positive Torah commandment to maintain and use the honest scales and the measuring equipment. So meaning 2 negative and 1 positive commandment. So 2 negative, one is to stealing, of course, and second is the don't weigh a proper amount, right? And here is the third halacha that he transgressed, a positive actually, right? Positive that says that we have to have correct measurement, and I mark for myself. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but there is Rabbi Lerner who says that a person is going to be punished severely for transgressing positive commandments. Right? It's a little surprising. Right? Why? He said because it says, and he based on a verse, you have to observe all Torah. All Torah meaning all positive commandments. Okay. So continue. So actually, again, the whole sentence. One who cheats the buyers by giving him short weights, right? So giving a little less than he paid for, or measures, transgresses 2 Torah prohibitions. The prohibition not to steal, because he steals for sure, right? And serious prohibition, do not do an injustice with the weight of measures. So that's 2 separate prohibition. Why is it serious? There is a commentary. Retail store owner should be careful to instruct their sales help and temporary help to properly operate their scales, and especially on how set the tire to detect the weights of the bag, wrappers, or containers. I'm not sure they deduct the wrappers or containers, like a bag. I mean, this container, the way I understand, this container also costs the money. It's not free, right? Right, and all of this, for example, you buy whatever you buy. You buy apples, right? You put them in the bag, so they're not going to subtract the value of the bag, right? They're not. I mean, because I think it's like commonly understood that it is included in sales. So, and people usually don't mind since it's such a light thing. Usually people don't mind. Okay, right. But in olden days, like for example, in olden days they have this like scales, like all day scales, right? And they have like a big I don't know, like basin or something like and they would put potatoes there, right? And they wait, and they still do it in Israel, right? You go to the market, they still do it, right? Or apples or whatever, and that's of course they have to subtract because you're not getting it. Like if they if we give you in like disposable containers, there is no problem. First of all, they do not weigh anything, like a tiny amount, right? But if they going to keep the container in which way for your fruits or vegetables, for sure they have to subtract. That's and it's pretty like it's pretty heavy. I mean, comparably. Okay. Right. So the person is the store owner. He's obligated to instruct everybody and tell them what to do. Okay. No problem. Continue. The Torah prohibition applies to akum as well. So I mean, as we always say, you cannot steal from a Jew, you cannot steal from a non-Jew, especially if they're going to become known, and Hashem would make that all of the things are going to become known. So right, it's going to be a big hill, Hashem Chas V'Shalom. It also applies to stealing very small percentage of the weight of the measures. So very small percentage, like in olden days, like how could you figure out exactly like how much they should pay? Most likely not. So I mean, with primitive scales, when you put the weights on one side and they weigh it, so when it's not balanced, it's a little higher, like a quarter inch higher, 1 inch higher, like 1/8 higher, how much it should be. I mean, this, of course, the salespeople, they tell you exactly how much. Is it true, not true? I don't know. Right? Or, for example, you want to buy only 2 apples. So if it's pound, I understand, 2 pounds, I understand. But you want to buy 2 apples, so it's not it's not so simple. Calculate how much it's going to be. You understand? So if a person would sell it by piece, I understand. But he's here he's saying that also applies to very small percentage of the weight or measures. Very small percentage, meaning what I'm trying to say. Apologize. What I'm trying to say, if it can be detected, right? So if it cannot be detected, like in olden days, so people would be absolved and they would not mind. I think, right? But today with electronic scales, everything is much easier. Continue. So today, it's when I used to shop in this fruit store, it's vegetable store, and the cashier had to remember all of the prices, all of these four kind different apples, pears, 3 kinds of melons, all of these things, cucumbers, tomato, like different kinds, and sometimes they remember, sometimes they don't remember. Sometimes they put the prices from 3 days ago. I don't know, all of these things. But today, what they do, like the same store, so they put like new computerized system. They just press tomatoes, like she knows like what tomatoes, like probably 3 kinds, 4 kinds, and that's it. And it's already priced. She doesn't have to remember, which is very interesting, right? And another store, they remember all of the codes. So there is a 5-digit codes. They all remember. How is it possible? I don't know. I guess if you work all day, no problem. So, but right. So again, it's all all of the electronic weights, so they're pretty accurate. Can you cheat in them? I don't know. Only I think if they punch a wrong price. Continue. Every scale is permitted by law to have a predefined very small margin of error plus or minus. Right. So I mean, it's impossible to to have exactly because of the spring and it's getting worn off. So often you have to replace it and stuff like that. Okay. If one scale is off a slight amount, but within this legal tolerance, it is not a transgression of the prohibition of stealing. The seller should, if possible, add a tiny amount over the above, the amount due to the buyers. So I'm not sure how is it possible. So he's saying, okay, so let's see, let's read it again. So every scale is permitted by law to have predefined very small margin, error plus or minus. So that's all us normal people understand, and usually it's such a tiny margin, like people usually don't care. It's not like a gold or rubies or something, right? Or diamonds, right? We're talking about regular store. You buy potatoes, you buy tomatoes, all of these apples. Right? Plus minus, like you would not care. Right. So, right, if one scale is off a slight amount, but within legal tolerance, meaning according to the local law, it is not transgression, prohibition of stealing. The seller should, if possible, add a tiny amount. I mean, how do you add tiny amount if you have tomatoes? I'm not sure. Like, or you have, if you have like a grain, some kind of grains, right? And rice, you sell rice by pounds, yeah. But usually all these things that you can add a little tiny amount is usually they come packaged, right? And what they weigh actually the bigger things. But again, it would sounds very silly if, for example, it's like $5 and 25 cents, and then you need to adjust, and you say $5.19. So a person is going to look at the scale, going to look, what is stealing from the customer? What, am stupid? Like, what are you doing? Understand? Also, it's not going to look very, very nice. Like this customer would think that something is wrong. Okay. So I'm not sure with what. I mean, maybe if you a person sell nuts or something. And with electronic scales, still you cannot add. You just add the price, and it gives you the results. And unless you want to put a smaller price, like a penny less or 2 pennies less, maybe like this. Okay, so but again, if it says a 197 or 199 there, the price, for example, and the salesperson puts 195, so this person like is going to correct. What do you mean? So I'm not sure. I don't see how can you do this small adjustments electronic scales. Right. But okay, continue. But we got the idea. So with manual scales, for sure you can do. For example, a ketchup. So here we go. For example, ketchup manufacturer had a high technology, computerized weighing and dispensing equipment, adjusted to still precisely the same amount from each bottle. So, which is a scary thing. So, most likely people would not see, like a little more, a little less. Especially with ketchups and others, it does not have to be up to the top. But if you buy something that can spoil, for example, juices they do up to the top, right? So it would be as less air as possible, or some other things, or some I don't know, like pickled stuff, right? So to push out the air. Okay. But with ketchups, yes, you can do less. Mayonnaise, right? The small amount that he kept multiplied over thousands of the bottles per day, right? resulting in a nice enhancement of the profits. I think most of them, and then not religious for sure, not Jews. I think most of them that's what they do. Right. So of course, there is inspection. They would come check from time to time. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm not sure if they there is an inspection. However, he was guilty of transgressing 2 Torah commandments 1,000 times daily, right? Meaning from different people, and go now apologize to all of the people that you stole from. Okay. Commentary. According to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, here we go. Technology itself does not prevent abuse from occurring. The above example is based on a true incident. So again, according to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, technology itself does not prevent abuses from occurring. So meaning even technology can be wrong, I guess. Right? Can make a mistake. The above example is based on a true incident. So meaning a person intentionally did it. Like, can it be a program bug or something? Also possible. Also possible. Maybe did not take into account the bottle or a cup of the bottle, or I don't know, something. So here we go, a few grams, and that's it. That's how this thing. Next one, number 6. Or for example, after there is the prices, they change the container size for many things. So I say, what is the standard? Like 64 ounces. 64 ounces, and these they would start producing very, very similar looking container, 59 ounces, almost the same price. So people would not see the big difference, but it's a big difference. Right? It's not 10%, but less than 10%, but still. I think they stopped that. I'm not sure when. I don't follow these things, but at some point they stopped. I'm not sure how long it was going, and not every company changed it, switched it, but some company did. Okay, but now I think everybody switched back 64 ounces. Okay, continue. Cutting ahead of the line. One may not cut ahead of the line if this is tantamount of stealing. However, the institution providing the service or a product for which people are waiting online has the right to serve any customer first, even if he's an end of the line. For example, if the manager of the bank sees the preferred customer or relative standing online, he may choose to bring him to his desk or to ahead of the line and to serve him first. One may hold the place in line for a friend. However, he may not hold 2 places in line, one for himself and one for his friend. Okay, that's diamonds. Okay, so let's do from the beginning and we try to understand. So again, cutting ahead of line. So in some cultures, it's so normal, and when we used to travel, you come to this place. It's like you feel like you're stupid. Everybody go again, around you, like you're not there. You don't exist. Yeah, but I was standing. Yeah, you were standing, but they need more. May make fun of you, stuff like that. Some cultures. Okay. So many cultures. So one may not cut ahead of the line. Okay, so that's the amount of stealing. That's for sure. Meaning stealing time of that person. So now this person is going to wait for another 5 minutes, whatever, 10 minutes, and its time is life, right? Or a person is working, right, and he or she took some time off. They ask manager, I need to go to the bank. So for example, the bank closed at 5, and they work till 5:30. So how can they get to the bank? Right, only in working hours. So they say, okay, can I run to the bank 20 minutes back and forth? guess what? And the manager said yes, and now this person cuts ahead. And now it's going to be not 20 minutes, but 35 minutes or something. Okay. However, the institution providing the service or products for which people are waiting online has a right to serve any customer first, even if he's the end of the line. For example, I mean, he gives extreme example. Somebody paid, like already paid. There is a problem. He has to come back and this and that. So a person would be called like a head of the line, right? Because he'll like they already start the service. This I understand, but or for example, sometimes they say whoever pays credit card comes first, right? So cash is only one person, but credit card is self checkout and stuff like that. Like and you could be the 10th person, and everybody paying credit card, or it's only whoever paying cash, for example, right? Can go to this register. Everybody else paid credit card, debit card, so they still in line, and you go ahead of the line. There is no problem. Usually it's a credit card. It's not cash. Usually cash is you need a person to take it. Okay. Right. For example, a manager of the bank sees the preferred customer or a relative, right, standing online. So meaning the manager of the bank. So this guy have $200,000 like in the bank, and has this account, that account, like preferred account, this stock account, and the other people, they hardly maintain the minimum balance, and they like free checking. So bank does not make anything of it, right? So of course the preferred customer, right? In my bank there is such a thing as preferred customer. I'm not sure how much you have to have in a bank. Like there's all of this like benefits, stuff like that. So I mean it's understandable. If they make a lot of money, they make like only a little on me. So I don't mind. Let him go first. For me, it makes sense. Right. So he may choose to bring him to his desk, right, or to the head of the line. So maybe meaning to maybe he can open another line for him, right, or even to the front of the line. No problem. Right. So one may hold a place in line for a friend. So meaning until friend comes. It's like it's very like a not the guys like try to several times happened to me. They try like it was a long line, right, before Pesach. Everybody like I don't know, maybe 3 days, 4 days before Pesach, right? So very close to Pesach. Everybody have a lot of like huge shopping. So meaning one person, if they try to sneak ahead of you, like it's another 10 minutes, maybe more. Like if they have a problem, if something does not have price or something, I don't know, all this problem. So and people try to sneak before in front of us. So he said, no, it's my sister. I need to say, look, if it's your sister, there is no problem. So you can stand behind me. There is no problem. Look, I also in rush. I have a class. I was rushing to the class. I mean, I have time, but who knows, like how long it's going to take us, maybe traffic, this and that. So I said, look, you can join your sister right behind me. There is no problem. Right, all the brazen people. No Hashem. 2 places. Okay, so 2 places he cannot. All right, but take a place. So meaning somebody, his friend comes and send, and this person leaves. There is no problem. Okay. Or people shop together. It's also a wife, for example, is in the line, and husband comes with a second card. Right, so also no problem. Because it's like the same shopping. It's not two separate people. Okay. Maybe it makes sense to tell somebody behind that my husband is coming, my wife is also coming. Right. No problem. So continue. Gazlon may not be a witness. Right. The testimony of a person who was guilty of stealing is inadmissible to a Beis Din, and contradicts contracts signed by him as one of the witnesses is invalid. A person who is a suspect that a transaction he once did or goods he once took might halachically be considered stealing should not accept the honor of being a witness to a ksuba, marriage contract, or kiddushin, marriage transaction, because his participation as a witness might invalidate the marriage transaction. Okay, one second, let me quickly see. So that's, as we understand, it's very, very scary. 1 second. Quickly check time. Very, very scary. Okay, so let's see from the beginning, try to understand. So Gazlon may not be a witness. A testimony of a person who was guilty of stealing. Commentary: there is stole and did not yet make restitution and do Teshuvah. So if person did Teshuvah, so that's a different story, and it's everybody knows that he did Teshuvah. Okay. So again, testimony of a person who was guilty of stealing is an admissible basis. So meaning, it's actually in Rambam Hilchas Eidus, meaning who can be a witness. So the whole list of the people who are not valid witness, the person who gambles, for example, a person who has a business with pigeons, right? Camels, pigeons. Okay, steals. Right. I think who lends with interest, right? Okay, so let's see. So they are right. They are. Just 1 second. Guilty is inadmissible to the basin. So meaning he cannot be a witness, and contracts signed by him as one of the witnesses are invalid. So that's scary one. That's scary, especially the ksuba. So sometimes it's actually good. It's actually good, and we try to see if a woman needs a get, right? So the first question is, are the witnesses were Shomer Shabbos? Are they were kosher witnesses? Meaning, if they were not kosher witnesses, unfortunately, so she was not married ever, right? Ever. So she does not need a get. Of course, it's proper to try to get a get if it's not such a big issue. But otherwise, like after the fact, if this guy is so stubborn, there is no problem. Of course, I mean, we have to look at each case separately, but that's the general approach. So, commentary: exception. If when he stole, he mistakenly believed that what he did was not prohibited, he is accepted as a witness. For example, although Shulchan Aruch states that stealing from Akum is prohibited, many people believe it's not prohibited. Thus, a person who is unaware of this prohibition and steal from Akum is still acceptable as a witness. However, if he was informed that the stealing from Akum is a Torah prohibition, which will disqualify him from being a witness, and he nevertheless continued to steal, from then on, he is no longer acceptable witness. This exception applies only to people who sincerely believe what they are doing is not really prohibited. It does not apply to a person who knows that his actions are prohibited, but has some rationalization to do it anyway. For example, he knows that he may not cheat his customer by giving short waits, but he rationalizes that his competitors do the same. He is unacceptable for being a witness. Right. So Baruch Hashem. So let's see. Okay, so again, I'm not sure how is it possible, but everything is possible in this life. If a person never learns or never learns from kosher people, so I think it's possible to understand, to believe this, to have this notion that stealing from Akum is not prohibited. I'm not sure how. I heard it before, but did I hear somebody say sincerely? I mean, I never talked to these business people. I think. I mean, okay. Who sell a retailer? Okay, no problem. I mean, only some of them, but all our students, they like everybody knows. Like they ask me the question that the people who have the business owners or whatever that learn with us, I think they ask me most of the question which is Midas Hasidus, I think. And not always, but majority of the time. I would say 60% of the time. Right, so, right. But some people believe, right, Shulchan Aruch said, not allowed to steal from Akum. Right, Shulchan Aruch, it's Jewish law, right? So many people believe that it's not prohibited. How is it possible? Don't ask me. Right. So if person sincerely, absolutely sincerely, from the bottom of his heart, I believe there is no problem to steal from Akum, like and he like and that he was misinformed or something, right? So that does not disqualify him from being a witness. Okay, but if he was like notified, right, that he should not do that, and he said, no, that's fine. My father was doing, we do it like for many generations, so right, I have a store for a third generation. Okay, so then he is guilty. Right, he guilty, meaning we cannot longer employ him as a witness. So again, if somebody is sincere, absolutely sincere, I believe. Okay. For example, he knows that he may not. Right, second. It does not apply to a person who knows that the action prohibited, but some rationalization to do it anyway. So meaning what? For example, meaning right. For example, he said everybody in my business do that. Okay. By but he rationalizes that his competitors all do the same. He's unacceptable as a witness, so we cannot do this rationalization. And right, we have a person. He was trying to advertise his products, and they say, "Look, I have to put one price. Are you allowed to put two prices?" I'm not sure. It was long explanation. So he asked me actually this business question, and the question was that if he displayed three different kinds of whatever was it, I'm not going to say what, right? Three different kind of the same product, three different brands, but the prices, of course, they're different. The top brand and like on more inferior side. So more, and he put the price for more inferior one. But he said that somehow, I'm not sure how people should be so naive, but it's possible. Where when they call him, when they see his ad, so they expect that the most expensive one, I'm not sure how is it possible, would cost that much. Even though on the picture, he sent me the picture from his advertisement, it's clearly three, of course, I don't know what is what, but same three products, but from different brands. Right, and he put the lowest price, which there is no problem. So I say I told him to say from price from this, but somehow he told me it's not allowed. So it's not allowed. There is no room to enter in this application. Okay, no problem. So in this case, yeah, you can put the price and right, and since in description he can say prices on this product from this and that. Okay. So continue. A person who suspects that the transaction he once did or goods one took might halachically be considered stealing should not be accept honor being a witness. So of course you don't have to tell them why, but say, look, I don't qualify this and that, please. Maybe next time, please don't, right? Or just disappear. Guess what? Just disappear. Right? And say, no, you better honor this person, please. right? Some rabbis, some tzaddik, like hidden tzaddik or known tzaddik, right? So meaning try to delegate to somebody else, so without like you embarrassing yourself in public, but still, right? Don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind as well. Of course, if a person does Teshuvah, that's a different story. Commentary: if he returned the wrongfully taken money or item and did Teshuvah, he may accept the honor. The halachos of returning wrongfully taken money discussed in the next section F. Okay, so we're going to get to it. So meaning, if he already like fixed the issue, there is no problem. But if he did not fix the issue and he's still thinking about it, he only did Teshuvah, but without returning or trying to correct the issue itself, so he should not be a witness. Ksuba or Kiddushin marriage, okay, transaction. Because his participation as a witness might invalidate the marriage transaction, which is a problem. Okay, which is a problem. I think we can stop here. Right, so let's stop here. Right, so next topic is using employer's equipment and for personal needs. That's the biggest one, right? Using the phones, so especially in olden days. So today everybody have cell phones, but in olden days, before the cell phones, we would use like a stationary phone, right? You're in office, you're not going to go outside and you use a payphone. Of course, you're going to use office phone, and some people abuse, and they use it to call long distance. That's crazy. And they try, and so sometimes people try to, in my office, right? They try to call different countries, but it was obvious who is from that country would call them. I'm not sure what logic they use or what brain they use. I'm not sure how they end up, but it was a big issue. Okay, no problem. So let's start here. 5 minutes break. Continue with other topics. 5 minutes.